Here is a Lasko fan. This is a early 3733 model, I believe. It's from 1995 or 1996. There's no printed information that I see, which is typically what has the number on it. Or it says E20739. And I actually know there is printed information. I think that would say 3733 right there, maybe. But this is one of the earlier ones with the Marco motor and the D blades. That switch and the tag on the top right. These things were an absolute staple in the 90s and the 2000s. I remember seeing these things everywhere years ago. And it seems like in the last 5 or so years they've pretty much gone extinct, which is a shame. What's also a shame is it seems like these D blades have stopped standing the test of time and incessantly warp and lose a lot of the performance. And I don't know how to fix that. There are reports of people fixing it. There's no video, of course, of anybody fixing it, but these reports of the repair are coming from reliable sources, so I do tend to believe that the repairs are taking place, but I have no idea how. So anybody that has claimed to fix one of these or has fixed one of these, make a video showing the process so that I can understand it. Because I have tried multiple different methods and have had zero success, if not negative success, because I think some of those blades are broken now. So somebody make a video on how to fix these plastic blades that warped. The entire fan community will be very appreciative of that video. So with that being said, this one, despite being in nearly mint condition, this appears to have no hours on it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this has never been used. There's no rust anywhere. It's perfectly clean. The motor is flawlessly clean. You can see there's not an iota of dust on those windings. The blades are clean. I mean, this might have a couple hours on it and that's it. It's really, really nice. Really good condition. Handle's in good shape. The speed control is in good shape. There's some dust on the top, but everything is just great here. Really, really nice condition. I've been looking for one of these for a long time, and I have not had good results finding them until just recently. So I'm glad to find such an important fan to my collection in excellent condition. Now the cabinet is very thin on this. It's not quite as bad as the modern 3733, but it's really not much better. Very, very thin cabinet. It does have the feet, which are supposed to go on there, although I think it's heavy enough that I don't believe it would tip over under any normal usage conditions. It's not going to perform as well as it should because of the blades. Can we take a peek in there and see? Not really. It's such a shame that the blades are warping like that, because the D blade was really a good blade set. Very powerful and reasonably quiet. But not so much anymore with all this warpage. It is a polarized, non-fused plug, which I will plug in now. I don't know where the kilowatt meter is, so we're not going to have that data for this video, but I don't think it's a big deal. This won't be the only video I do on this fan. We'll get the data eventually. Alright, so let's go ahead and start this up. We'll begin on low. It actually sounds just like the early 3733 with the pedal blade, which is what I grew up with, the one from 1999 or 2000. The startup sound is very similar. I believe it's the same motor. And the performance on this is okay, but it's pretty limited. I'm not sure if that's because the blade is warped or because the guard is so thick, or probably a combination of both. I definitely think that the performance is hindered by the warpage on the blades. It seems like it's running properly. The balance seems reasonable, even though it visibly appears to be way off balance. And I'm not really sure. I don't think it is. If you look at it straight on, it's pretty reasonable. And blade tips are a little bit out of clock, but nothing crazy. It still moves air. It's usable, but it's nothing like what it should be, I don't think. Okay, the medium. Pretty reasonable noise level. The airflow is picking up, but it's still not what it should be. Although it's not bad. And it seems like the medium is pretty healthy on this one. These Marco motors, unfortunately, did not stand the test of time the greatest. And it seems like the medium winding often wears out for whatever reason. But this one seems to be pretty strong still. And the high. Yeah, it's nowhere near typical. Well, the high speed really moves okay here, but I don't think it's moving as well as it should. The balance is not perfect, but it's not crazy. It's within a reasonable margin of error. I don't remember these being like crazy powerful back in the day. This isn't really all that much less than what I recall. But it's gotta be less because the way the blade is. I know I have at least one or two D blades that aren't warped yet. Hopefully they haven't warped since they've been sitting in storage. I'll have to swap one of those onto here and see how the performance changes, if at all. Bearings seem copacetic. It's kind of weird. The blade is so big, it doesn't even fit, like barely fits in the cabinet. The guard edges cover the tips of the blades because it's so wide. The startup sounds are a lot less faint on this than the 3733 that I have with the pedal blades. But we'll take a listen to it anyways. Here's the high. These have a pretty good startup sound for what it is. Not bad at all. Now we'll do the medium. And lastly we'll do the low, which is the most nostalgic to me because the 3733 that we had was run almost exclusively on the low. Now, the motor definitely needs service. You can hear that the windings are kind of dry, or the bearings are kind of dry. So we'll service the bearings, and I think I'll go ahead and varnish this one because these motors didn't seem to be wound the greatest, and sometimes some of the pieces of wire aren't exactly tight. So we'll correct that to prevent any future damage. But this is a really nice example. If I can get a different blade for it, this should run pretty good for a long time.